More on our top story. Eric?
Well, good morning. The mother of the man arrested wants at least one of the officers involved fired. Meanwhile, the Chicago Police Department says the video that was released doesn't tell the whole story. The video, taken last Tuesday in Cabrini Green, shows 32-year-old Lorenzo Williams Jr. on the ground while officers fight to arrest him, at one point hitting him with an object. Williams' family says it was a walkie-talkie. The images sparking outrage and a rally last night outside the 18th Chicago Police District.
What if that gun had went off? You was gonna shoot my baby in front of all those people?
That's the voice of Williams' mother. She's calling on that officer to be fired.
I want his badge, and I want the other ones to be held accountable for what they did to my baby.
Chicago Police Superintendent Larry Snelling yesterday cautioning against a rush to judgment.
It's not a complete video. It doesn't show everything. What I can tell you right now is that that ended in an arrest, gun recovery at the time.
WGN got a hold of Williams' arrest report. It says the officers tried to stop him when they saw a gun in his waistband, but Williams ran. Officers took him down and said he was reaching for the gun. A gun, police say, was stolen out of Iowa. Williams, a convicted felon, has been charged with several felonies and is currently being detained awaiting trial.
The Chicago Police Department, myself, we take these things seriously. There's an internal investigation that has been launched.
Part of that investigation will also include video from the officers' body-worn cameras. That video has not been released at this point. The point, however, those at last night's rally wanted to make is this isn't over.
We have to hold law enforcement accountable.
Now, WGN did blur the faces of the officers in that video, and that is because no one has been charged with a crime. We're live at CPD headquarters. I'm Eric Runk, WGN News.
Thank you, Eric. We'll continue to follow that. In the meantime, 2 people accused in the murder of a former Chicago police officer expected to face a judge today. 17-year-old Marquand Jones on the left and 16-year-old Lazarus White on the right are both charged as adults in the fatal shooting of Larry Newman. The 73-year-old was killed outside his home in West Garfield Park in June. Surveillance video shows the suspects near his house shortly before the shooting. Prosecutors say that Watt was supposed to be on home confinement at the time because of a pending carjacking case.
Presidential candidate Kamala Harris is expected to choose her running mate next week, and Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker appears to be a strong contender.
Our Judy Wang joining us now with the latest on this. Judy.
J.B. Pritzker, who has been increasing his national profile, met with Kamala Harris's vetting team twice this week. Multiple media outlets citing sources with knowledge of the meetings report the process of vetting Pritzker started last week. When pressed about it, the governor has essentially given the same response, that he doesn't want to discuss it. He may not want to discuss it, but abortion rights groups, business and labor leaders are, and they are publicly backing Pritzker for VP.
This may be the 73rd time that you and your colleagues have asked this question. I'm not going to talk about those conversations.
If he is a finalist, the governor isn't saying it.
Whatever happens in this process that I understand is going on, my job is to make sure that we win in November.
As recently as last night, Pritzker would not confirm or deny.
Well, naturally, people have called to talk to me about the possibility of being the vice presidential candidate. I'm not going to say who those people were or talk about those conversations, but I'm flattered by all of it.
Governor Pritzker interviewed with Kamala Harris's vetting team Monday and Wednesday. He started submitting vetting materials last week. Former Attorney General Eric Holder is leading the search, which normally takes months. Harris is expected to name her running mate by early next week. Thursday, abortion rights groups Personal PAC and Men for Choice urged Harris to pick Pritzker. In their letter to her, they wrote a Harris-Pritzker ticket would be a force to be reckoned with in efforts to protect the right to choose. The same day, 40 Illinois business leaders, including Chicago Bears chairman George McCaskey, signed a letter supporting Pritzker for VP. A third letter signed by nearly 100 union members calls the governor a tireless leader who gets big things done. Harris's vetting team has also interviewed Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro, Arizona Senator Mark Kelly, Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear, Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg, and Minnesota Governor Tim Walz. Kamala Harris is expected to appear with her running mate in Philadelphia Tuesday. That is when she's scheduled to kick off a campaign tour that will take her through 7 battleground states. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Judy. Let's get a look at our first forecast now with Mike Jansen. How's our weekend shaping up, Mike?
Well, our weekend's looking pretty good now. We may have to go through a little bit of wet weather here today. You look at what's happening there downtown. Doesn't look real impressive in terms of chance for rainfall, but if you see on the